Welcome back to Losantaville Lanes and the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling. The title match today featuring our reigning champion, Wayne Schuerman. Here's a look at his form, David Newrath.
We were able to watch him in his finest hour last week, bowling very, very well. We'll see how he can fare today. Kevin Gillette has made a ball change, a line change, and a release change, and it looks like it paid off.
Kevin Gillette opening up by filling up the frame. He survived a close shave, did Gillette.
Oh, no.
Match number 2. I'm sorry, the temptation was just too great. Sportscaster-itis sets in.
No, Wayne Schuerman in practice balls was not really comfortable with the shot yet. Not saying that we've seen players lost in practice, and when the lights come on, it's like they've been hitting the pocket for the last 3 hours. Wayne Schuerman must be one of those players.
Well, this is interesting. We have a new type of Newrath factor here, where you predict the action, and in fact, it comes to pass.
The positive results, eh?
That's right.
Well, that was a an absolute 10 in the pit, Bo. We had tried to have a little fun with the tip of the week this week, and I don't know, what the heck, you can't learn something every week. We just had a little fun this week.
Well, that's fine, and I think it's especially impressive that you stuck to basic bowling slang again, David, instead of being mic'd for some of your more colorful language when the pins don't fall exactly the way you like.
Okay, yes, that's exactly right. Look out, it's wide. It's wide, and it's finishing late, and let me set up what is going on. Wayne Schuerman left the 4-7. I'll be okay. Sitting over here 3 lanes to the right. There, thank you, Roy. 2-4-10. A Kareem shot again. The 2 has got to go over into the 10 shot. Wayne, we're going to watch his reaction. The ball is going to go long and wide. Watch his reaction. He's trying to help it. See him trying to push it up the hill a little bit. The players are not playing the lanes the same way they could play them in the first game. The shot is different. The good player has to be able to adjust, has to be able to react. And Kevin Gillette, let me tell you what, I'm not his promotional manager. I'm not pumping him up any more than what he deserves, but he shot a 166. He was lost in shadow balls. He got right as the guy was saying last ball for practice, he ran and got a new ball, changed his line, changed his release, crushed the pocket for a strike, opened this match with a strike. Let's see what he does with it the rest of the game. What a change, what an adjustment. Tentative. That was a tentative shot, Bo. You can see that. Anytime the backends aren't really rolling off and the player feels like he has to fit the ball in the pocket, we can take a look at his release here and see what we can do. He's going to point this ball up a little bit. He's not going to quite try. See the elbow? Did you see the elbow just flare out to the right just a little bit? Not that far off. Kevin Gillette going cross lane for the spare.
And he gets it.
I have to say that Doug Harbour is probably sitting at home rooting very hard for Wayne Schuerman to win today, because Wayne and Dave Forwood are tied, actually, for high position from Saturday.
Go Wayne, go Wayne. Huh?
So he is saying at home, of course, we don't, for a moment, believe that David Newrath would abandon the objectivity which has been the hallmark.
We don't root for nobody back here.
That's right. I'm going to tell you that right now. Here's Kevin going one time. Frame 3 will be a bit troublesome, and he scratches his head, a bit amazed and bemused.
2-5 again, caused by see these adjustments he's making in his mind and the gyrations. Now he wants the hips to rotate counterclockwise with the shot when the arm swing comes through, so the shot remains parallel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at some fine tuning of some fine games right now. Chops the 2 off the 5, difficult spare. We've got a match.
And we've got Wayne Schuerman coming up here in frame 3. Wayne, of course, winning last week over Jerry Eckel to claim the crown as the king of bowling, and he'd like nothing better than to hang on to it, as you see Mr. Gillette saying, I got to think about this a little more.
Really, he's trying to figure out what else he can do.
Kevin really looks confused. I mean, he's just continuously trying to figure out, what can I do?
Now, Wayne Schuerman has adopted a technique here. Let me tell you what. We can watch it on the replay. It's when a boxer throws his hands up in front of his face and he hopes the other guy wears himself out. Wayne Schuerman, nothing on this ball but direction. 6 pin, second one from the side. You see it's about as dead as a mackerel going into the channel there, but he's going to play safe. He's just going to try to roll the ball at the 1-3, hopefully carry a strike or two. Stay clean, make your spares, and he knows his opponent's lost. Kevin is lost right now. Play safe. Prevent defense.
And Schuerman able to pick up the spare there on the 10. We'll take a look at the score as we recall what David says. This is the rope-a-dope style of bowling.
That's right. With a strike in the 4th frame, Wayne Schuerman could take a 1-pin advantage, not to mention the advantage of having the strike over an opponent who looks like he might need a triptych right now to find the pocket.
To the Bahamas, David.
I'd love to. I need it bad.
You know, we mentioned in previous weeks that the ladies are going to start qualifying and bowling in our first half hour of the show. And right now, the ladies are competing in the tournament, but they're not getting any airtime. But Jackie Hall is leading right now at our qualifying at Stones with a 6:39.
And Wayne Schuerman comes through with a strike.
There you see Don Scudder right over his left shoulder there. Don is probably one of the premier players in Cincinnati. Bowled with Don and against Don for about 20 years now.
Don's also in the finals.
Well, thank goodness he's showing his age more than I am.
Oh, my goodness. Fighting words once again issued forth from the mouth of David Newrath. Now Kevin Gillette. He's tried to fine-tune it. And he fine-tunes it the way he wants it right there, David.
I've got so much respect for Kevin's new game. He went with something that shouldn't work. He went with more loft and a harder ball right there, pitching it out to about the 6-foot area. Now, the 6-pin, second one from the right-hand side, is going to do a number on the 10. It wasn't hit firmly, but watch it. He gets a little tap out of that nose. Ooh, he liked it.
And he'd like nothing better than to do it again in frame 5.
I think I'm going to mention one more time, our qualifying next Saturday and Sunday, our Coleraine Bowl. One thing that's important for our Sunday bowlers that are coming out every week, there's not going to be a 4:30 shift next Sunday. So if you're scheduled to bowl at 4:30 next week at Coleraine, give us a call and we'll reschedule you.
And Kevin Gillette rescheduling his game, coming up with a pair of strikes. Now, today, again, bowl qualifying is where?
At Stones Lanes in Norwood.
Stones Lanes in Norwood. We're here at Losantaville Lanes, and we're heading into frame 5. Wayne Schuerman, our reigning king.
1 pin in the lead. If he doesn't strike, he'll be 9 pins down. 1 pin to the advantage. Both players with a double. I'm telling you, we're looking at 2 of the most intense competitors in the game today in our city. The score sheet will tell the story. 1 pin advantage. Wayne Schuerman, both players strikes in the 4th and 5th frame. We're going to have a tooth and nail battle till the 10th frame today.
Wayne wants to extend that lead a bit here.
Technically, he could go from 1 pin to 11 pins if he strikes on this ball. And that triptych I alluded to, it looks like Kevin received it because he was very solid on the last 2 shots. Wayne's there.
Smooth and easy, like beauty gold for Wayne Schuerman.
Let's take a look at it here. We can see the loose reaction of the ball. It's going to deflect a little bit to the right. Head pin's going to go to the left, come off the wall, zap the 4 pin, 4 pin into the 5, and the 7 into the channel. Wayne likes it.
Was that like a bunch of scouts out there, David?
Bunch of Boy Scouts, they look like.
I think I have a new term. That's a camporee shot right there. We have those scout pins up.
Kevin Gillette, right lane. The lane that he lofted the ball last time and successfully flushed the pocket. Let's see. A little shorter down, and it didn't roll. Okay, let me explain it. He's trying to do probably the most difficult thing in the game of bowling, and that's keep consistent your amount of loft if it's not your natural loft. Frame before, he pitched it out of the lane, got a great ball rotation. That one he laid down a little shorter, it hit more oil, and therefore changed the roll of the ball, leaving the 2-4-5. What an exhibition we're seeing today.
Hits the spare, much to his relief.
You know, it takes a lot of practice to be able to adjust the way Kevin is doing. And, you know, one thing that's really interesting, you know, a lot of people think we don't have open bowling during the week. A lot of the centers have open bowling after 9:30 at night. If someone would like to come out and practice your game a little later in the evening, a lot of the lanes do have lanes available.
So you at home can practice your adjustments. We're glad you adjusted your set to Channel 5 for the Hudepohl King of Bowling. Kevin Gillette tries to unseat Wayne Schuerman, and that shot could help him do that, David.
Kevin is behind now, but he is not out, and you can bet your last buck he won't quit. Wayne Schuerman is throwing a solid game. He's executing to perfection. Nothing fancy, no frills bowling, but that's what it's about. Match play. You're out there to win. The score makes no difference, as we saw last game. A win is a win.
You know, we have our proprietors who come out every Sunday morning and join us here again today. Jerry Bettinghouse from Eastgate, where our first ladies qualifiers are going to be held. Sam Coleman from Coleman Lanes. Mike McDonald has faithfully been here from Stumps.
See Sam there at the score table. One of the legends of the game, peeking out almost underneath the projector there.
Wayne Schuerman going wide that time, leaving the 2-pin with a spare now, assuming he makes a spare in the 7th frame. He will maintain a 13-pin advantage over Kevin Gillette. But Kevin has a strike working.
He gets it. It is interesting to watch Mr. Schuerman just from his facial expression. The intensity is there, but there's a sparkle to the eyes. Almost it looks like he is enjoying a bit of levity. And also an interesting technique he goes through. David, I don't think he reaches down and puckers up and plants a kiss on his bowling ball, but explain what he does. It looks like he kind of blows on it a little bit there. Is he putting magic pixie dust there, or what is that?
No, a lot of the players believe that if you put a little bit of warm breath into the thumb hole, you'll get out of it a little cleaner. I never held too much regard for that theory, but whatever works. The intensity is relevant right here. He knows that he can hold Kevin away if he continues to strike right there. Look at that grit on his face. He did the grimaces of is apparent. The ball just did a job. 6-pin right there into the 10. Every pin doing its job. Kevin Gillette's got his work cut out for him.
Great to see none of the pins are unemployed on this Sunday morning. At least in that last shot, eh, David?
Really, really. Kevin Gillette right now can put some excitement back into his... He lofted it. It's close.
There's the 10.
I explained he's trying to do the most difficult thing in bowling, to loft the ball and still maintain the shot. Let's take a look at it on the replay. Here we go. The loft is there. It was not there last frame, but the rotation changed. The ball deflects a little to the right. You see it there. The 6-pin gets trapped in the channel. 10-pin cross lane. Has to have a spare to stay close.
He gets it. And he stays close.
The hammer is in Wayne Schuerman's hand at this point. The strike in the 8th frame is a critical place to have the strike. A good working frame. 9th frame, if he strikes, marks out in the 10th. He can control and win this match. Kevin Gillette's job is to throw 10 in the pit right now. Without a nice solid strike to push Wayne Schuerman, you can almost bet on him winning in the 9th and 10th frames. He's got to have it.
He doesn't get it, and he slaps his thigh in disgust as he leads that 7. He wanted it, David.
He surely did. Let's watch a reaction on Kevin's face at this point. He thinks he throws a good shot, but it skids too long right there. It waited about an extra foot or two before it went into the roll, and the pin that should have did the job right there slaps his side. Disappointed that he did not strike, but Kevin is bowling an excellent game. The score is not indicative of the amount of talent we're watching right now.
Kevin gets a nice hand for his efforts from the assembled multitude here at Losantaville on this Sunday morning. And here comes the king, Wayne Schuerman, stepping back up. And here's the little procedure he goes through.
A bit of powder on his fingers, blows into the thumb hole for moisture, I assume. And then he goes up and knocks 10 in the pit. I might try that this afternoon.
Wayne did not watch our bowling tip on putting powder on the telescore table.
Obviously.
But it works, and that new positive, new wrath factor coming through this Sunday.
We're going to try that the rest of the season, JD. Gives him a 170-something in the 8th frame, and technically that's a 24-pin advantage. 24-pin advantage. Wayne Schuerman going into the 10th frame with a mark. The party's over.
You know, Doug Harbor should be pretty happy right now because that will seat him into the 2nd position. And I think Bob Bruni's probably at home hitting himself looking for one more pin because he shot a 745.
Doug's buying. If he's out of center, Doug's buying. Going a little tight on that shot, leaving the 4-pin with a spare. Wayne Schuerman salts this match away. Let me correct that. Pressure's off, Wayne. Throw it in the ditch if you want to. That's game's over already. 9-pin count. Solidify the win. Even more so right there.
Well, Kevin will get $375 for his fine efforts today and a spot to bowl in the finals.
His efforts were fine indeed, but not quite enough to dethrone our king, Wayne Schuerman.
Prevent defense that we talked about wins the match. Kevin Gillette was lost.
This is another week, though, that our bowler who has bowled in the roll-off prior to the show coming on the air, who's gone all the way.
Going on the way here to finish up strong is Wayne Schuerman, filling it up there. Finish things off with a 216 total. It's academic. Kevin Gillette would like to finish things up well. And he does so there, getting started here in the 10th. There you see Wayne discussing the game, saying, boy, I'm glad I was able to put it together.
Yeah, Don saying, yeah, and I couldn't believe you did that either, but look at those eyes on Scudder. What a guy to bowl with. He's a lot of fun to travel with, and a fierce competitor.
10-pin left hanging there for Mr. Gillette. There you see the smile and the belt hitch and the sigh of relief for Wayne Schuerman. And there you see the 10-pin going down for Kevin Gillette. So we finish it out. Wayne Schuerman with the victory. 216 to 193 over Kevin Gillette. Back to re-crown our king right after this for Udi. Back at Losantaville Lanes to re-crown Wayne Schuerman, the king of TV bowling. David Newrath, you do the honors, please, sir.
Thank you, J.D. On behalf of Carl's Bowlers Paddock, a little hardware to hang on the wall, and Wayne, that's the greatest prevent defense I've seen. Good
Thank you,
shoot.
Dave. Thank you. And in addition to the crown, of course, Miss Bo, a little money comes Wayne's way.
That's correct. Another check, Wayne, for $750 on behalf of the Greater Cincinnati BPA and the Hudepohl Brewery.
Thank you very much.
Wayne, you're able to do it again. David called it a prevent defense. What was going through your mind today?
I was just trying to keep the ball in play. They were a little tough there, and I was just trying to keep it rolling up the track and try to carry and hope I stayed ahead of Kevin. Kevin's a great bowler.
You kept it rolling, and we'll see if you can keep it rolling again next week here on the Hudepohl King of Bowling.